Hello, my fellow Deltans, and welcome. My name is Kawarebie Kennedy Pella, simply known as Ken Pella, and I'm the initiator and lead visionary of the Vision Better Delta movement. What you're about to watch is more than a walkthrough. It's a structured briefing grounded in data, context, and urgency. This is part 1 of our Stakeholder Onboarding Presentation. It explains why this movement exists and what we must do to rescue Delta State from decades of missed opportunities, weak planning, and institutional failure. This video also serves as a companion to Letter to Deltans number 3, our midterm report on the Sheriff Oborevori administration. If you haven't read it yet, I encourage you to do so because it provides the backdrop for everything discussed here. We didn't arrive here by accident. What Delta faces today is the result of decades of neglect, wasted potential, and governance without direction. The signs are visible in our towns, in our schools, and in the lives of our young people. But we are not powerless. This is a wake-up call for all of us. This movement was created to change that trajectory, not with sentiment or slogans, but with a plan that works and a structure built to deliver it. Welcome once again, and thank you for being part of this conversation. Like I said earlier, I am Ken Pella, and I'm inviting you into something deliberate. This is the roadmap drawn from years of listening, research, and lived experience. The Vision Better Delta movement is a civic platform. It is not driven by parties or personalities. It is shaped by principle and designed to deliver results. Our work is anchored in the 3 governance pillars of first, righteousness, which simply means doing the right thing and entails integrity in leadership and decision making. The second is harmony, which entails inclusion, collaboration, and citizen ownership. And the third is prosperity, which entails delivering jobs, dignity, and equitable opportunity. If you believe Delta deserves better, and that change begins with clarity and courage, then you are in the right place. Now, this onboarding sessions has a clear purpose. We are here to introduce the Vision Better Delta movement as a long-term civic platform for inclusive state transformation, to explain the rationale, structure, and strategic direction of the movement, to clarify the role of citizens, professionals, and community actors in shaping and sustaining this agenda, to provide a structured 4-part roadmap that lays out the journey from diagnosis to action, and to invite you to engage in a credible, organized, and values-based effort to reset governance and rebuild trust. This is more than an orientation. It's the foundation for collective action. Now, this our presentation is structured in 4 parts to help you follow the story clearly. In part 1, which you are currently watching, is the why and lays out the background and the context. In part 2, we give the what and the how, part of the how, and which entails the strategy and structure. In that section, we define the vision itself and how we will govern, organize, and sustain the work. In part 3, we give another part of the how, which are the tools, the flagship programs, and platforms that will drive impact. And in part 4, we give the last part of the how, which is the engine, the funding strategies and sustainability plans, and the invitation, where we tell you how you can take ownership and join this effort. Together, these sections explain not just what we plan to do, but how we intend to do it and why your involvement is essential. Now, in this first section, we draw a comparison between Delta and Dubai, 2 oil-rich subnational regions that faced similar starting points in 1999. One invested in infrastructure, pursued diversification, and planned for the long term. The other didn't. And there are no prizes for guessing which did what. We'll walk through the choices each made, the outcomes that followed, and what Delta could have done differently. And I tell you, we still can. Now, a walk into history. Delta was carved out of Bendel State in 1991 with high expectations because it inherited significant natural assets: oil, gas, fertile land, forests, fisheries. But for most of its first decade, it was under military rule. There was no long-term strategy for industrial development, no coherent urban plan, no serious effort to modernize agriculture or unlock its human capital. The brief democratic window under Felix Ibru was shut down too early. What followed was stagnation. At the same time, Dubai, also a sub-national region, was making a different set of choices. From when it was established in the 70s through the 1990s, it used oil revenue to build infrastructure that enabled trade, investment, and long-term growth. Ports were expanded, airports were modernized, free zones were established, Emirates Airlines was launched, tech and media cities were planned before oil production even peaked. By 1999, oil made up less than half of Dubai's economy. Its GDP had already passed $13 billion, with diversification firmly underway. These outcomes were not accidental. They were results of clear priorities and consistent planning. Dubai's ruler, Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid, said it clearly: countries are not built by money, they are built by men and by vision. That statement wasn't just theory, it was their strategy, and it worked. And here are the results. This is Sheikh Zayed Road on the left in the early 1980s, mostly sand with scattered buildings and little activity. And today, it's a global business corridor as seen by the picture on the right. Skyscrapers line the skyline, and a metro system runs through it. Major companies operate from both sides. That transformation was driven by long-term planning and disciplined infrastructure investment. It wasn't a product of oil alone, it was the result of clear decisions made over time. On the left is Jebel Ali Port, which began as a modest maritime outpost. Today, it ranks among the busiest logistic hubs in the world. Dubai invested early, not in aesthetics, but in infrastructure designed to drive trade, create jobs, and anchor long-term growth. This wasn't the result of chance. It was the product of deliberate planning and disciplined execution. Now let us rewind to 1999. Dubai had less oil, less land, and fewer people. Delta had every advantage, but no clear strategy. That was the moment of divergence. Let's be clear. This slide shows that Delta had started with all the advantage: more oil, vast natural gas, arable land, forests, rivers, ports. Everything Dubai lacked, Delta had. But Dubai had a plan. That's the only thing he had more of, and that made all the difference. From 1999 onward, Delta had democratic space and oil revenues, so it could have done things differently. What it lacked was the willingness to adopt global best practices. No clear infrastructure vision, no economic diversification, no effort to build public-private investment platforms. What Dubai did, Delta could have done. We could have learned from their experience. We could have studied them and done things differently, but we did not. 25 years later, the contrast is staggering. In 1999, Dubai's GDP was roughly 4 times that of Delta. By 2024, it had grown to more than 8 times the size. Dubai's economy now exceeds $130 billion. Delta's is estimated at around $15 billion. Dubai's per capita income is about $35,000. Delta's is just around $2,500. And let me tell you, that per capita income could have been much more. But Dubai grew its population from 900,000 people in 1999 to 3.5 million people today. Not just by the population internally growing, but by attracting global best talents. While Delta, on the other hand, grew its populate from about 2-something million to 6 million today, just by normal growth. Dubai built ports, airlines, and innovation hubs. Delta accumulated debts and oil dependence. Oil was never the problem. The real problem was using oil to fund dependency, not development. Now let's look at the numbers. Over 25 years, Delta grew its revenue just by only 80%. Now, we could say that there's the problem of the drop in the value of the naira. But if we had done things differently, our growth could have outstripped the drop in the value of the naira. Dubai, on the other hand, grew by over 1,100%. That growth was powered by logistics, tourism, investment, and innovation, not oil. The data is clear. Oil alone doesn't create growth. Vision does. With the right policies and consistent execution, Delta could have grown its revenue by 15 to 20 times over. By today, we could be earning $6 to $10 billion annually. GDP could be $80 to $120 billion. Our ports could be regional trade hubs. Warri could have become West Africa's gateway, not just an oil town. In fact, it is no more an oil town. Instead of borrowing to pay salaries, the state could have built a self-sustaining economy that created jobs, attracted investment, and expanded opportunity. That opportunity was squandered. But it isn't gone. There's still hope. Vision Better Delta was designed to recover what was lost and build what was never started. In 1999, Delta stood at a fork in the road. We had a chance, but we made the wrong turn. That is not opinion. It is fact supported by data and history. Now here's the Sabbath today. It shows the signs of development but no coherent vision. Flyovers appear. Roads connect nowhere. Projects exist in isolation. This is not a capital planning for the future. It's a city reacting to the present. And then there's Warri, which was once an industrial anchor. Now it's a shadow of the potential it had. Infrastructure is collapsing. The port is dormant. Investment is fleeing. In fact, investments have all fled. This isn't the result of natural decline. It's what neglect looks like over time. Our urban transport sector has no structure. What we call reform is actually surrender to chaos, to survivalism, to systems without regulation or vision. Across Delta, young people take on risky low-income transport jobs, not because they want to, but because nothing else is available. Okada riding is a last resort, not a career. And then there's POS operation. When industry collapses, youth become banks. The spread of POS kiosks tells a story, not of growth, but of absence. This is what employment looks like when planning fails. In fact, when government fails. Now let's recap. Delta had resources. Dubai had structure. Dubai planned and diversified. Delta relied on oil and debt. Dubai now leads the region and in fact the world. Delta still struggles with the very basics. But the opportunity isn't gone. It just hasn't been taken yet. With the right decisions, Delta can still build what it needs. The next 12 years and beyond can be different if we choose vision over excuses. Vision Better Delta responds directly to what has been lost and what remains possible. Lessons from Delta's missed opportunities and Dubai's transformation are not academic. They shape the foundation of this movement. The failures of the past make clear that intention is not enough. What's needed is structure, action, systems, and a plan that connects vision to delivery. 3 priorities guide our path going forward. Righteousness means building integrity into governance. That includes public dashboards, digital budgeting, and a Delta development audit that gives citizens real oversight, not just rhetoric. Institutions, not personalities, will drive reform. Harmony demands shared ownership. This movement is not anchored in political identity. It welcomes traditional rulers, young entrepreneurs, community leaders, and diaspora professionals, each bringing ideas and influence to the table. Then there's prosperity, which must be produced. We are shifting from revenue dependence to production through power utilization, agro-industrial investment, and targeted infrastructure. Our planned prosperity garden cities are part of that transformation, not as real estate investments, but as the hubs of enterprise, mobility, and inclusion. This is not a plan built on wishful thinking. It's grounded in Delta's reality and designed for traction. We are not waiting for perfect conditions. We are using what we already have: gas fields, coastal access, fertile land, and digital talent. We are not designing from scratch. We are building on what works, adapting from models with a track record of success. We are not chasing grand projects disconnected from citizens. Each intervention must solve a real problem, generate value, or unlock potential. And we are not waiting for Abuja. The tools we will use for transformation already exist at the state and community levels. What's missing is leadership to activate them. The building blocks are clear. We'll start with demand. Don't build what people didn't ask for. Anchor development in actual community priorities. We'll revive moribund industries and reclaim industrial zones. We'll revive Wari, Cocoa, and Burutu as export and processing corridors, not abandoned spaces. We'll invest in people. No economy grows beyond the capacity of its workforce. Health, education, and skills must lead. We'll fix infrastructure where it matters. Reliable power, clean water, digital connectivity. These are not luxuries. They are prerequisites for development. We will make budgets visible. Let every citizen see where funds go and what progress is made. And then we will invite private sector participation with clear land titles, bankable projects, and credible policy. Investors will respond. Delta has the time and resources to course correct, but the window is narrowing. The next 12 years must deliver what the last 25 years did not. The gap between where we are and where we could be wasn't caused by one decision. It was the slow accumulation of silence, delay, and misdirection. But that also means recovery doesn't require a miracle. It starts with a step. Taking together, taking now. Not next year, now. Not after the next election, now. Vision without action is merely a dream. Action without vision just passes the time. But vision without action can change the world. That's what Joel A. Barker said. And that's what we must believe in. That's what we must act on from today. Delta doesn't lack resources. It needs resolve. The problem is clear. So is the path. The next section lays out the vision, the strategy, and the structure through which we will pursue the vision. Until then, stay tuned. In the meantime, if you are yet to read Letter to Deltans number 3, please do so. Thank you.